Okay. This is another super helpful. Let me restart. What I'm about to teach you in this video has completely changed the way I approach the gym and completely changed the way I go about my workouts. And it's something that I've noticed that people don't really talk about, or at the very least, they don't think correlates to fitness. I wish I would have known this when I started out in the gym. I wish somebody would have told me about this concept, because it would have allowed me to become so much more focused, and it would have allowed me to do so many more things, and it would have allowed me to actually be present in the moment and actually be conscious of the weight that I'm lifting. Because so many people I've noticed in the gym are on autopilot in the gym. It's so weird. Like, you'll be lifting, right? And I'm sure you've seen this too. You'll be lifting and there's just a dude just doing things, just looking around on autopilot, just thinking about other stuff. You might be able to guess what I'm about to say. Maybe not. The secret kind of weapon that I'm using here is meditation. And now you might be thinking, whoa, meditation, that doesn't relate to the gym at all. Let me show you something. So let's say we have a guy, right? We'll just I don't know, we'll call him Bob. And Bob's in the gym. Bob's lifting weight. He's doing his thing. But he's not focused, right? We'll say Bob's doing a bench press. And he's just cranking out the weight, and he's looking around. He's looking around. He's not focused. He's not present. He doesn't realize that the weight he's lifting is too light for him. He doesn't realize that he could be doing so much more. He doesn't realize that he's leaving gains on the table. He's just thinking about what he's going to watch on TV when he gets home. Now, let's take another person. Let's take a guy, what should we call him? We'll call him Mike. We have Bob and Mike. Mike is in the gym. He's in the same gym as Bob. He's doing the same machine as Bob. He's bench pressing just like Bob. But the difference between Bob and Mike is that Mike is conscious about the weight that he's lifting, and he's consciously thinking about his muscles. He's constantly thinking about activating his chest, and he's thinking about how to get a better squeeze out of his chest. He's thinking about pushing to failure, working really hard on that last rep. He's conscious of the weight that he's lifting. He's in the moment. He's present. Who do you think is going to make more progress in the long term? Is it Bob? Because Bob doesn't realize what he's doing. Bob doesn't realize the weight he's lifting. He doesn't realize that it's not enough for him. Mike, on the other hand, is super conscious about the weight, and he understands that he needs to progressively overload, and he needs to understand that the weight he needs to lift a certain amount of weight in a certain amount of rep range to get the maximum amount of gains. Of course Mike is going to make the better gains. Of course he is, right? Like, Bob is going to be at the same weight if he doesn't meditate and he doesn't develop his focus and his presence and the ability to be present. He's going to be lifting the same weight for months, and he's not going to make any difference, and he's going to wonder why he hasn't grown in the gym. Mike is going to skyrocket. Mike is going to go through the roof, and he's going to go crazy because he's conscious of the weight that he's lifting. He understands what he's doing. Don't be like Bob, be like Mike. Be like Mike. So how do we become more like Mike? Well, honestly, you don't even have to download this app. You could just do this on your clock app. But what I do is I have an app called Medito. It's a meditation and mindfulness app. You can click on different modules and they'll have someone kind of walk you through it. I prefer to just put on a timer and just listen, just be in silence and just focus on my breathing. So, first of all, use your clock app or Medito to set a timer. Now, how do we actually meditate? Well, meditation is actually super simple, because you can focus on many different things. The most common one is the breath. So you'll breathe in, breathe out, and you're conscious of your breath going in and out of your body. And so many people I've heard that they're like, oh, I've tried meditation and it doesn't work. And it's like, they're like, I can't focus. And I'm like, that's the point. Like, you wouldn't see somebody in the gym, like someone get under a 225 bench press, fail the bench press, and say, the gym doesn't work for me. Like, no. Or you wouldn't see someone say, oh, I lifted the weight and I can't lift it anymore. It's like, yeah, that's the point. You were supposed to go to failure. People think that you're supposed to remain 100% focused in meditation and be mindful the entire time, which is quite the opposite. You're supposed to lose focus, and you're supposed to regain that focus and bring yourself back to the present moment. Think about it like a bicep curl, right? A bicep curl for your mind, right? Your one loss of focus and one regain of focus is one bicep curl for the mind. It allows you to, by going out of the present moment and thinking about something else, it allows you to, and then bringing it back to the present moment, it allows you to remind yourself to be present. And your mind, over time, because of consistent meditation, will be more in the present moment and less thought about other things. How does this correlate to the gym, though? Because that's great and all that you can be in the moment, but how does it relate to gains? Well, let's go back to Mike. Mike is present, and he's focused on the mind-muscle connection. He's focused on his muscles moving the weight. He's focused on the actual weight itself. He understands that he needs to get in a certain amount of rep range, and he doesn't have any distracting thoughts in his mind. He's focused on one task, and that task is to move this bar up and down until he physically can't anymore, and he has to do it in a certain amount of rep range. And even after that set, he can reflect on that set and be like, okay, in that moment, I realized that weight is too heavy or too light. I'm going to adjust it so I can make better progress. Going back to Bob has no idea that the weight was too heavy or too light for him. He just lifted the weight and called it a day, and he wasn't present and he wasn't thinking about it. You see the difference? You see how huge the difference is? Because being conscious about your what you're lifting and your weight and overall progress is going to completely take you on. It's going to make you so much better in the gym. It's going to do so much more than if you just sat around and you didn't do anything. Than if you sat around and were unfocused and didn't put thought and effort into your sets and workouts, and you weren't present and thinking about what you were doing. Be mindful. Don't be mindless during your sets. So I don't want you to take this video and be like, oh, okay, meditation, got it. I want you to right now get your phone, either download Medito or get your clock app, and I want you to set a timer for however long you think you could sit and meditate right now. It can be for 30 seconds. It could be for 10 seconds. However long you think you can meditate for, and then build upon that, and just see how the results happen in the gym. Listen, this is gonna change the way you approach fitness. You're gonna be a much more present and focused person, which is gonna lead to being more conscious of the weight you're lifting and how it's affecting your body and what you need to do set by set by set. Listen, you got this. You're going to kill it. I'm proud of you. It's going to be amazing. You got this.